I disciplined our daughter. Those were the proud words my husband said when I called to check on him while he was babysitting our 2-year-old daughter. What do you mean? I asked. He explained that because she wouldn't stop crying, he had locked her out on the balcony and then, unbelievably, went off to play golf. We live on the 10th floor of an apartment building. I felt my heart sink when my husband came home that evening. He was in for a horrible shock. Our daughter wasn't on the balcony. When he looked over the railing, he saw the ground below stained with deep red. I met my husband, Tyler, through a mutual friend. He was 10 years older than me, but I was attracted to his caring personality. He treated me like I was special, and our relationship smoothly moved from dating to marriage. Being with him was the happiest time of my life, and I believed that happiness would last forever, but it didn't. A few months after we got married, Tyler started spending less time at home, always blaming it on work. He'd come home after midnight or sometimes not at all, without even a call. I knew his job as president of his own company was demanding, but before marriage, he made time for dates and would text me often, even when he was busy. After marriage, things felt completely different. At Tyler's request, I quit my job as a nurse to be a full-time housewife when we got married. Because of this, I didn't want to complain when he was working so much. Then, unexpectedly, I found out I was pregnant. The baby we were expecting, created with the man I loved, was precious to me. Thinking about our future child helped ease the loneliness. After some time, I safely gave birth to our daughter, Olivia. While I was overjoyed to have her, Tyler's lifestyle didn't change. Him not being home became the norm. Even when he was home, he'd either be sleeping or glued to his phone, not paying attention to or helping with Olivia. On top of that, he would leave us behind on weekends to go golfing, his favorite hobby. Before we got married, my husband said he loved children and was excited to raise them with me, but now, his behavior showed no sign of that enthusiasm. My parents lived far away, so I couldn't rely on them for help. I was struggling through first-time motherhood all by myself. To make things harder, my husband was becoming more controlling. He started criticizing how I did housework, how we were raising our daughter, and how I disciplined her. He demanded that I be the perfect wife and mother. "Is this all you made for dinner? There's not enough variety," Tyler would complain when he came home late at night. "I'm sorry, but it's hard when you don't tell me what time you'll be home or if you're coming at all. I'm exhausted from Olivia's night crying, so I want to sleep early when I can." Is that how you talk to the man who supports you? Who do you think puts food on the table? You're home all day, so taking care of the child, the house, and me is the least you can do. Got it? My frustration with Tyler kept growing, but whenever I tried to speak up, he would yell at me and shut me down. I convinced myself that enduring all this was the best thing for Olivia, to keep peace at home. There were days I felt like I couldn't go on, but my daughter's sweet smile gave me the strength to keep going. However, something happened that made me fear I might not be able to continue this difficult routine. When Olivia was about 2 years old, I had a regular health checkup, and they found something unusual. I rushed to the hospital, and they told me, "We can't say anything for sure yet without more tests. You should schedule a thorough examination." I made an appointment for the following week. The examination would take all day, and I couldn't bring my 2-year-old daughter with me. I tried to arrange temporary childcare or a babysitter, but it was too last minute, and everyone was fully booked. My mother was elderly and in poor health, so I couldn't ask her to come all the way to watch Olivia. As I was trying to figure out what to do, Tyler surprisingly said, "I guess I'll have to take care of our daughter." I was shocked that he would offer, but I had an even bigger worry. Could Tyler really spend a whole day alone with Olivia? He had never taken care of her by himself before, so I was very concerned. Still, There was no other option, so I decided to trust him and left Olivia in his care. On the day of my examination, I woke up early and wrote down instructions for taking care of Olivia in a way that even Tyler could understand. I prepared their meals and made sure everything was ready. Taking care of a kid is easy, Tyler said with a yawn. Looking completely relaxed, I left for the hospital, feeling uneasy about leaving my daughter. Even during the examination, I couldn't stop worrying. Had he changed her diaper? Had he fed her properly? I was so distracted that I couldn't even think about the serious illness I might have. When there was a break during the tests, I decided to call Tyler to check on things. After several rings, he finally picked up. Is Olivia okay? Are you managing to take care of her? Everything's fine. I've disciplined her. What do you mean? I asked, confused. I thought I could just let the kid play by herself, but she wouldn't stop crying because of your bad parenting. So I taught her a lesson by locking her out on the balcony, Tyler proudly told me. What are you thinking? We live on the 10th floor. You're overreacting. This is all because you haven't disciplined her properly. I had so many things I wanted to say to Tyler, but Olivia's safety was my top priority. Bring Olivia back inside. Right now. I can't right now. I'm out. I'm busy. Bye. My husband said before hanging up, without the slightest hint of remorse. As I heard his words, I felt the blood drain from my face. I immediately stopped the examination and rushed home in a taxi, praying, please let her be safe. When I arrived at our apartment, my hands were shaking as I opened the door. I stumbled down the hallway and threw open the balcony window in the living room. What I saw left me horrified. My daughter was in a terrible state. At that moment, I decided I would get revenge on my husband and put a plan into action. That evening, Tyler came home. Olivia must have learned her lesson by now, he said casually, humming as he opened the window. Looking around for our daughter, he frantically glanced left and right.
No, it can't be. Tyler leaned over the railing and looked down, then screamed and stumbled backward. He was shaking, clearly in shock. Well, it's time for me to make my appearance, I thought. I had been hiding in the kitchen, watching his reaction. I'm home, thanks for babysitting, I said, acting as if I had just returned. Oh, you're back, it's terrible. Olivia might have fallen from the balcony, he blurted out, still in shock. What, you mean what you said on the phone earlier was serious? I thought it was some kind of joke, I responded. Tyler explained that there was a bright red stain on the ground below the balcony. I rushed to the window to look and screamed. Tyler broke out in a cold sweat, even more panicked now. It's Olivia's fault for not listening to me, he said, trying to excuse himself. That's no excuse. What were you doing all this time? I demanded. Well, I went out to play golf, he confessed. Are you kidding me? We need to call an ambulance right now, I said, pulling out my phone to dial 911, but Tyler shouted, stop, and snatched the phone from my hand. If you do that, there'll be a huge commotion, and everyone will find out. I'll be blamed. It's not my fault. This happened because you didn't discipline her properly. Figure out what to do yourself, he shouted, trying to blame me even in a situation where our daughter's life was at risk. He was only thinking about himself. His selfishness pushed me to my breaking point. You're the worst. I've already saved Olivia a long time ago, I said calmly. What do you mean? Tyler asked, confused. The truth is, when I rushed home after your phone call, I found our daughter collapsed on the balcony. I scooped her up and took her straight to the hospital. After the examination, they diagnosed her with dehydration, and she was admitted immediately. If I hadn't cut my test short, I shudder to think what might have happened to Olivia. To see how my husband would react, I spread ketchup mixed with water on the ground below the balcony to make him think she had fallen. When I explained this, his face turned red with anger, and he came toward me, but I didn't flinch. I glared right back at him. Do you have any right to be angry? You left our daughter to go have fun, Didn't you? You went on a golf date with Amanda, didn't you? Wait, how did you? To be honest, I had suspected my husband of cheating shortly after our daughter was born because he was always away. Then, I got a message from a woman named Amanda, who said she worked with my husband. She kept calling and messaging me, asking me to break up with Tyler, which confirmed my suspicions. I could have filed for divorce right then, but Olivia was so young, and I needed to prepare carefully. During that time, I gathered evidence of how terribly Tyler had treated me and how little help he had been with childcare, all to ensure a favorable divorce. Amanda would constantly try to show off how close she and Tyler were. She even told me that all the times I thought he was working, they were actually on dates and trips together. So, when Tyler left Olivia on the balcony, I assumed he was off on another date with Amanda. Tyler looked shocked when I mentioned Amanda had been contacting me. I have enough evidence of your affair, please divorce me, I said, presenting him with the divorce papers. Furious, he refused. Amanda is just a fling, it's ridiculous to divorce over that. What about my reputation? I've been supporting you, so just shut up and do as I say. He started coming toward me, but I wasn't afraid. You can't think your selfish reasoning will work. Besides, I'm going to report what you did to Olivia. Tyler smirked, as if mocking me. Olivia is fine, she was just playing on the balcony and felt unwell. There's no proof I did anything wrong. Do you really think, after enduring all this time and gathering evidence, I would slip up now? I replied, pulling something out of my pocket. When did you? He asked, confused. After taking Olivia to the hospital, I had hidden a voice recorder in my pocket to capture his words. I had recorded everything from the moment he came home until now. I'm going to take this to the police. What you did to Olivia is a crime. Seeing how serious I was, Tyler became visibly shaken, sweating in panic. Please, anything but that. I'm sorry for everything, he said. His tone completely changed. For the first time, he apologized and even got down on his knees, begging for forgiveness. But I wasn't moved. How could I forgive you for putting our daughter in danger? You failed as both a husband and a father. With that, I left the house to go to the police. Tyler was questioned and arrested based on the evidence I provided. The incident made local news and spread on social media, causing his company to lose its reputation and eventually go bankrupt. Both Tyler and Amanda lost their jobs. Through my lawyer, I finalized the divorce and received $120,000 in alimony and child support. I also sued Amanda for $220,000 in damages. Olivia recovered fully, and we're now living a healthy, happy life. I also had a full medical checkup and was relieved to be in good health. I've returned to work as a nurse and look forward to living freely with my daughter from now on.